Back Podstream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com. One win away from the Stanley Cup final. The Oilers with another exceptionally good defensive performance. Stu Skinner, so good again as he continues to shut his naysayers down. The Oilers with a convincing win over the Dallas Stars. They're heading back to Texas to try and close this thing out. What a night. Welcome to Got Your Back, folks. Looking forward to a great show. We've already got a great audience ready to rock and roll. We've got Struddy. We've got Rob Brown right off the top of the show, too. And Zuby is at the controls. So lots to discuss tonight. Going to be a great show. Let's get after it. As always, Got Your Back presented by Play Alberta, the official gambling partner of all the major Alberta teams. Whoever you cheer for, Play Alberta's cheering you on. Bet on your favorites. Get in on odds boosts and make game time more interesting. Deposit today and get a $50 free bet with the code GYB05. Visit playalberta.ca. I am pulled over, parked safely in my Adrenaline Diesel mobile studio. It's a Caterpillar recognized and authorized dealer and repair facility. For expert service for your Cat engine, visit adrenalinediesel.ca. All right, gentlemen, Rob Brown, Jason Strudwick, Chris Sabunia. Guys, I will start with what I know about Zach Hyman. Chris Knobloch obviously did not have an update for us post-game. Said he will have more information set to go tomorrow. I can tell you after the game, Hyman was in a line of players that were coming off the ice. Matthias Ekholm giving the guys high fives as they came off, celebrating the win. With his left hand, Hyman was high-fiving the guys that were coming off. Kind of had the right side of his body hidden, so couldn't see exactly what was going on. But I will tell you, Leon Draisaitl came down the line, stopped when he got to Hyman, and gave him a great big hug. You know the players are feeling for Zach Hyman tonight, guys. I would say it doesn't look great, but you never know. So we're not going to be definitive here. But Struds, you know those guys are feeling for that player who has left every ounce he has out on the ice in these games so far, buddy.
Oh, 100%. And he's been such a big part of this team. And just what he's done in the last game and the whole playoffs with the physicality. So what do we like? I mean, are we guessing what it is? Hand or shoulder?
I'm not gonna get too far down that path because it just kind of doesn't really lead anywhere good. I think we know it's somewhere. I would suggest somewhere from the elbow down on that one side, and it's just a matter of what and how severe. That would be my best guess.
Brownie, what do you think?
Well, I think that we know we sit in the press box, and when a player leaves the game, and it happens all the time, a lot of times questionable to come back, or they'll wait partway through the game and they'll give you the not coming back the rest of the night. The problem, the one that scares you or concerns you, is it was immediate. Zach Hyman will not return to the game. And that concerns you because at that point you're like, okay, it's pretty obvious whatever's wrong with him is wrong enough that there's zero chance he could come back. So, yeah, there's something wrong and it's not good. And it will affect the Oilers going forward. They're a deeper team. They're a better team. They have guys that can play all kinds of different roles. And if he's out of the lineup, can move up and down the lineup. And Leon talked about that before the game even started. But what you're missing, if Zach Hyman does not play, is a guy that scored 54 goals a couple of years ago. And had he stayed healthy the entire playoffs, was going to break the record for most hits in the history of the National Hockey League in one playoff year. So that is a big loss. Now, the Oilers are a good enough team to overcome it. So, A, it's a huge loss, but B, to go with what you were talking about, Schauger, everyone wants to be part of it. They feel that this is something special brewing here in Edmonton, and they know how big a part of it Zach Hyman is. So when you say that Leon hugged him, that's a guy recognizing that how badly it must hurt that Zach Hyman wasn't there to finish this game and might not be there to finish a series or a playoff. He feels from as all players do because they know the importance of it and they know the importance of Zach Hyman to this team.
Yeah, really well said, Brownie. Really well said. And we'll get to more of what happened without Hyman, who stepped up, who might step in if he's not available. There were some things I saw tonight from other guys that I liked, and I'm interested to know what you guys think as well. So we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But Struddy, let's get to our breakdown brought to you by the Alberta Ram Dealers.
Ram trucks continue to deliver with power, style, and innovation. The 2025 Ram 1500 features a bold new powertrain, a redesigned exterior, and state-of-the-art technology. Check out the most awarded light-duty truck ever. See a Ram dealer today, guys.
You're not used to being in the home studio, Struds. You got everything where it's supposed to be and can't find anything.
No, I thought you were going to come back to me, so I was looking up a stat, and I had to quickly jump back over. So.
Okay, well, is there a statistic, a very important statistic that you now have to present to us?
No, really, as it turned out, no. To be honest, I was looking up Captain his ice time. So, no,
it was a useless stat you were fishing for when you blew the ad read.
Yeah, I had a notion that I was right and I was wrong, so I'll just take the minus and move on. I've done it many times in my life.
All right, there you go. So the start of this game, the Dallas Stars, one of the issues they'd been having is they weren't starting games on time and they were constantly playing from behind. That's something they really wanted to fix. And so you could tell early in this game, the Dallas Stars brought a really good energy and they were just throwing everything on net, Brownie. You could tell they wanted to change the narrative tonight with a better start. And it was just Stu Skinner standing there repelling them. Another situation where Dallas throws their best at the Oilers and Stu Skinner is leading the charge in repelling them, Brownie.
Well, they understood the desperation that they needed to play with. They did not want to fall behind 3-1 in this series, and they certainly didn't want to fall behind in the hockey game again. Dallas is a very good team when they're leading, and we saw that in game one in the third period. They got the lead. They just gave the Oilers nothing the rest of the night. So they came out, and they were by far the better team, winning every race, winning every battle, a number of grade A looks on net. And as Chris Knobloch talked about after the game, the Oilers could have and should have been down multiple goals at the end of the first period. But Skinner, like he did in game 3 of the second period, was outstanding and looking confident and playing with swagger. And this is one of those things that Struds, if you're sitting in the dressing room at the end of the first period, you're the Dallas Stars, you're thinking, we just played a fantastic period. We were all over them, and we're losing a hockey game. And that is frustrating and demoralizing because it's happened time and time again in this series.
Whoa.
Look at that. 8 minutes.
That is early, Zuby.
8 minutes.
Is that
well
the
done, everybody.
Ever?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
I think so.
Oiler
8 minutes.
fans,
Thanks for being here,
You are
everybody.
voracious. You're insatiable, Oiler fan. Thank you. Thank you. Struds, your turn to talk about Stu Skinner if you've got a second there, if you're not looking up inane stats.
Yeah, no, I'm not looking up a stat right now about Kapanen. No, but guys, listen. I mean, Stu Skinner was a question mark, after the start of the LA series. So I believe in my heart, I think that the Stars are like, okay, we got him. He played pretty well the second series, but we've got him here. We're going to get to him. And, other than that one period, now this is how many periods? This is 12 periods. I would suggest they've had one period where they got to him, right? Whereas Oilers have had multiple times where they've gone to Ottinger in periods. And so I think that this hasn't gone the way they thought. I mean, I think they respect Skinner. They see what he did last year. But I think just the narrative going in would have been, we can get to this guy. We can get to him. And instead, it's like Skinner's getting to them.
Yeah, and it's 2 years in a row here going into a conference final where the Dallas Stars have had the decided advantage in net and where Stu Skinner has won that battle. Guys, he did this last year against this team in this exact round against that opposition goalie. So I don't think anybody should be super surprised here. He did it last year. The other point I'll make about the Stars here, Brownie, and as an offensive player, this must have been driving you nuts. Of their first 4 great opportunities, they missed the net on 3 of them. They had 16 missed shots in the first period, Brownie. The Stars have missed some of their best chances to score at even strength in this series.
It's funny you say that. That's the one thing that I talked about to start this first intermission with Chet, is you can tell a goalie is in the head of the players when you're getting grade A scoring chances and you're missing the net, because you feel that you have to be so precise with your shot. It has to be so perfect. It's no longer instinctual. So when you're a good goal scorer and you're feeling it, it's all instinct. You don't even you don't look at the net. You know where the puck is going as soon as it leaves your stick, and you know that's going to be where you want it to be. But they're now trying to be precise. They're trying to place it somewhere, and when you do that, you start missing the net. And you're right. In the first period, some of their best looks, they completely miss the net. And you only get so many grade A's in a game. And tonight, the Dallas Stars in the first period, they threw away a whole bunch of those grade A chances because they were trying to be too precise, which means the goaltender, Stu Skinner, is certainly in their heads.
Anything else on that, Struddy?
No, I think you just nailed it. I think that they're trying so hard to just look for the perfect opportunity. I think there were some chances maybe to muck it up a little bit, right? Get it, funnel pucks more to the net, and try to make life a little bit more uncomfortable for Stu. And I think Marchment was trying to do that early, but just get the pucks in and get bodies there. When it's not going in, just get a little bit uglier.
Okay, Struds, we're going to go to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here. So I'm going to give you lots of notice to not shop on Amazon here and go over and grab your sponsor read, because heaven forbid you screw up the Weiss Johnson read and the jingle doesn't happen in perfect timing. We got over 1,000 people live with us. I don't even want to imagine what would happen if we screwed that part up. So get the Weiss Johnson soundbox ad read ready, because let's get to it. We want to hear from Stu Skinner in our soundbox, presented by Weiss Johnson. Struddy.
Yeah, I'm really excited. They're very excited about their golf tournament. It is sold out. So thank you everyone who come out to support, who's going to be there on June 3rd. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's such a great cause. So Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning are excited to be a part of running that. A lot of people come and turn out. The summer weather is coming, and if you don't have an air conditioner yet, don't wait. Weiss Johnson is your home for comfort specialists. To give them a call and enjoy a summer with a brand new AC unit. Specializing in servicing existing mechanical systems or installing new ones, visit Weiss-Johnson.com today. Hit it.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
You had her up on two wheels for a second there, buddy, but you landed it. Yeah. Came in for a smooth landing. Zuby, we got some Stu Skinner?
Sure do. I'm just letting this breathe, but we could get to Stu.
Yeah, you can let it breathe. No. Zuby, your call. You are the one you are in charge of the fans' mood. Only you know what the fans need, Zuby, with the jingle. Whoa, all the way through.
It's just a shame not to have that ending there. So, okay, here's Stu.
Yeah, I was feeling good. They definitely brought it on. They were bringing it the whole game. Again, how we all played as a team was fantastic. Shows a lot of courage, the way that our guys were blocking shots. And for myself, it definitely felt good out there. Just trying to give my team, the best chance that I possibly can every night. They're going to get their chances. They're a fantastic team, and how we respond to that has been really, really excellent.
All right. Another great performance from Stu Skinner. By the way, did a one-on-one with Skinner after the game. That should be up on tsn.ca at some point tonight. So if you want to hear the rest of that interview, hop over to tsn.ca and check that out. Also did a debrief on the game with Pierre Lebrun and a chat with Jay Onrait. So lots of content over on the network for you tonight as well. Need to get to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins here, gentlemen. Leon Draisaitl, we'll listen to him in a moment. Actually, you know what? Let's just listen to Leon Draisaitl singing the praises of all that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is getting done as we go back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox.
Well, he touches every part of the game you can think of. And, obviously Nuge in a way sacrifices a lot of offense throughout the year for, doing everything the right way and being in the right position and doing all the little things that a lot of guys don't want to do, and he prioritizes that, and obviously we all know that he's capable of putting up numbers and scoring and making great plays. So obviously right now it's everything at once. It's clicking, and he's been the best player in the series.
Struds, do you agree with him on that?
The best player in the series, I do. I think he's been in everything, right? He's killing penalties on the power play, 5-on-5, setting guys up, pushing at pace on his own line when he's there. If not, he's helping out Connor. I mean, how many more different ways can he be a part of this thing?
Well, the thing that,
Rob
to me,
Brown?
I played with a guy years ago in Pittsburgh who was kind of like a mini MVP, Stu Barnes. And we had Young team and we had Kovalev. But Stu Barnes was the guy that played in the first power play unit, played on the penalty killing, 4-on-4. He did all the hard stuff and never complained and didn't get the accolades that the other players got. But you knew that you couldn't win without him. And I think that's what Nugent Hopkins is. He's a guy that does all the little things every time he's on the ice. He's the defensive conscious of his line. He takes when the Oilers are 2-man short, it's Nugent Hopkins that jumps on to play the 5-on-3 again. And on a team of superstars, and you're always going to talk about Connor and you're going to talk about Leon, it's Nugent Hopkins that just seems to be that glue. That whatever we need, okay, we need to go nuclear tonight. We need to go nuclear. Okay, that means Nugent Hopkins, we need you to drive a line tonight. Okay, now we want to have them separated, but we want to go 3 deep. Okay, Nuge, you're going to be the third line center. And when you need a guy to step up in big moments, and we've seen this in the playoffs the last 2 years, it's been Nuge. And this series, he has been the best player, the Edmonton Oilers. And that's on a team with Leon and Connor who are playing well. It's still been Nuge who's been their best player.
The power play is interesting because, I mean, I've always sung the praises of Nugent Hopkins and his importance on that power play because all of the entries flow through him. As soon as they gain the line, he's always the next touch, and he's got to make the smart play to make sure they have time and space. So critical on that power play, but not necessarily as the primary guy. More the supplementary, sure-handed guy on the touch right after the entry. But what we saw tonight was a number 1 overall pick, using number 1 overall pick poise, patience. Brownie, those were high-skill, patient plays and primary assists for Nugent Hopkins on the power play. That's just me, a lot of P's happening there. That was not planned or on purpose.
Perfect. He was perfectly done by you. Well, what you have, every team has a power play that goes through 1 or 2 players. And the Oilers, it usually goes through Connor and Leon. So a penalty killing unit's going to try to focus on those 2 players. Okay, let's not let them kill us. Okay, let's take away what are their most common plays that they make. What are their tendencies? Okay, let's take away that. Okay, Connor likes doing this, coming across to Leon for a one-timer, or we're going to go back to Bouchard for the one-timer. See, try to take those things away. What most power plays around the league don't have is a guy with the skill level of R&H that all of a sudden he's the guy that gets left alone at times. And that's where you see him walk in with his little wrist shot and beat goalies from distance. Or tonight, the 2-on-1, they took away the back door when he gave it to Corey Perry. They were taking away Leon. I think Lundell was backdoor. He could have come to the net. He didn't. He was taking away Leon Draisaitl pass to him. Ryan Nugent Hopkins is going to make that play 100 out of 100 times. The defenseman CC didn't lay down. He should have. Didn't lay down. There's no way you can stop that as a defenseman. He's got all the time in the world to make the play. No one forced him. He skated toward the net. The goalie has to respect his shot because we've seen him shoot from there. And now he's got, okay, I'm going to pass between his legs. I'm going to go under his stick. I'm going to wait for him to move a little bit. And as soon as CC moved a bit, underneath the stick, backdoor, wide open net. But that's something most teams don't have. They don't have a guy that went number 1 overall, that has had a 100-point season in the National Hockey League. They can make those plays when you take away Connor and Leon. And good on R&H because they are leaving him open on the power play. And we've seen in this series, he's made them pay time and time again.
Yeah, just to double down that, I think on both opportunities, I was thinking he's going to shoot them both times. So the first one he gets it back in the middle, he looks like he's going to shoot, freezes everyone, slides it back to Leon, and Leon, that's his money shot. The second one, I was surprised. CC flinched first, right? In that situation, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to let the goalie have this shot. It's a 2-on-1, but he flinched and just kind of, as you said, Brian, lifted his stick up or lifted his hands and just kind of rearranged himself, and boom, the puck was right there. If he holds, I'm thinking the Nuge has to take that shot, and then you at least giving your goalie a chance. He doesn't have a chance with the backdoor tap in. So CC flinched first, and the patience by Nuge was impressive.
Yeah. Two moments from Nuge and Hopkins I want to point to that are two of my favorite moments. One, sliding into the end boards and looking like his season might be over, and then pulling like an Undertaker, like, jumping up, coming back from the dead in that moment, and it didn't even affect him. I thought he was a gamer there. And then the shift tonight, guys, offensive zone, third period in the corner, grinding, strip the puck, grinding. Datsuki-like with his ability to strip pucks. I loved that shift from him, Struds.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, the Oilers, their third, they came out and they were assertive. They were on it. I thought everyone was going. I don't have it in front of me. I think it was like 4 or 5 shots that Dallas had. They're trying to get back in the game, and they're on them. And he was one of the guys that was like, they're not sitting back. We're going to play in the other end. And they went at him and kept going. And he was a leader amongst, all the forwards, quite honestly, in the third period, I thought were really good. But Nuge was definitely at the forefront of just saying, we're going to push the pace instead of sitting back here and just holding on to a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, for sure. Brownie, we're going to get to the Oilers' defensive game coming up in the next segment, because it's back-to-back games where they've taken a lead into the third period, and back-to-back games they've given up 4 shots in the third period. So there's something special going on with the way this team is shutting things down. Let's wrap up the conversation on Nuge and Hopkins with an answer from the man himself. I will remind you all, $5.125 million on the cap, signed an 8-year deal, prioritized being here, wants to be here, as Oiler as it gets. Here's Nuge and Hopkins asked if all this that's going on for him ever gets old.
Does it ever get old?
No. It just keeps getting better and better. It's unbelievable. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around sometimes how unbelievable this fan base is. It seems like every series, every game, they get louder in there. There's more people out on the streets before and after. It's just, you feel the support. When I first came in, we were obviously a struggling team, but you never really felt the negativity too much in the city. There was still a lot of positivity and a lot of hope. And now, like Leo said, we're 1 win away from going to back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals. This is as exciting as it gets for us as a team, and also for the fan base that's stuck around through a lot of years. But to answer your question, no, it never gets old. It just keeps getting better.
All right, that was the breakdown brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. Struds, I'm just about home, so I'm going to let you guys go. Grab Relentless Player, grab the poll, and I should be fired up and ready for takeaways.
Okay, let's do this. Enjoy your snack. All right, let's get to the Relentless Player, brought to you by UCAN Youth Services, an Edmonton charity relentless in helping youth aged 16 to 24 get out of harm's way and get employment. Visit ucan.ca to see how your donation can change lives right here in our community. Guys, there's a lot of people today, but I'm going to give it to a guy who hasn't gone recently. We talked to him a lot about tonight already, though. RNH, Nuge and Hopkins, 2 assists tonight. Those 2 passes were beautiful. We headlined them, but I love the way he worked on the PK as well. I thought that with Connor Brown out, he and Henrique, he was on it on the PK, and obviously his 5-on-5 game was good. But I thought he really had take the power play out of it, Brownie. I thought he was very playing on his toes all night and a threat in so many different ways.
Well, he's one of those players that's been around. He talked about it. He was here in the lean years. He was in the dark days, and now he appreciates where he's at. And he, like a lot of the players on this Oilers team, later in their careers. I think this is year 14 for him. You don't know how many opportunities you have. He's now 1 game away, as he said, from back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals. So there's an assertiveness amongst this group that we got something special here. Let's keep this thing going. And I think you call him relentless, and he absolutely is. But the one thing that I find about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins that sets him above a lot of players in the National Hockey League is his hockey IQ. He just understands the game, knows what needs to be done at what moment, knows the play that needs to be done, where to be offensively, where to be defensively. You talked about both goals that he set up tonight. You thought he was going to shoot the puck. Well, so did Jay Gottinger, and he froze him on both shots. And, like, he had no chance on the Perry one. That's just, I mean, see, that's on CC. But the one where Leon Draisaitl scored, Leon's at a horrible angle, terrible angle, and he's wide. RNH has to freeze Ottinger on that goal. Because if Ottinger has an inkling that it's going there, he's going to cheat towards it, and he's going to take what little angle that Leon has away. But he froze because, frankly, RNH was in a position he should have shot. But he realized that the best scoring opportunity was Leon with his one-timer, and that was just a good, smart hockey IQ play. And we've been seeing that from RNH all playoff long.
My other guy was going to be Stu Skinner. Relentless here in his pursuit of a save percentage. He's got 910 save percentage right now, which is pretty crazy considering where it was, everybody. So I'm sure we'll get to that in the next segment. So Zoobs, it's time now for you to jump on in here and get the YouTube poll brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. It's golf season, guys. It's beautiful out there. Even my lawn is looking sick. Dust off those old clubs and get ready for the season. New grips, new driver. Heck, why not a whole new set? DeBoer's Golf has you covered. Locally owned and operated, DeBoer's Golf has been in business for over 25 years, and they're ready to help you play better golf. Visit them on the corner of 53rd Ave and 99th Street or at DeBoersGolf.com. Zoobs?
All right, here's where we're going tonight. A little opinion poll here tonight on the stream, rockin' stream over 1,400. I might have to come up with a new sound effect for 2,000 by the time we wrap things up. For maybe not tonight, but I think we're going to need a 2,000 sound effect during this playoff here. All right, so here's the poll question. Has your opinion on Stu Skinner changed in the past 2 weeks? And here are the options. Option 1, no, he was always my guy. Yes, he has earned the net. No, I'm still a full-on Pickardite, as the term that the folks on the stream here like to use. And option 4 is yes, but I'm relieved Picks is back as the backup. So those are the 4 choices. We're going to take the temperature of where people are at because obviously Stu Skinner, a pretty large topic of discussion and some pretty strong opinions throughout the season and throughout this playoff.
So just a stat line, Brownie. He's got 9 games played, 5 wins, 4 losses, 910 save percentage, 2.47 goals against. Now he's played 3 shutouts, which is tied with Sergei Bobrovsky of the Florida Panthers. Now Sergei's played many more games. Stu's on the lower end of the games, but he's heating up.
He is, and I mean I'm with. I think it's number 1. I've said all along that the Oilers can win with Stu Skinner. I've believed it since day one, and it's not rocket science. They were almost did it last year. They were 1 game away. So I am not surprised by what Stu Skinner has done thus far in the playoffs.
If I can just say one thing about his game is, I think early in the playoffs and even the first game back against Vegas, it was that worry that when 1 goal goes in, it was really interesting for him to have only shutouts in his wins. And anytime he let in goals were the losses because you're worried about what that first goal is going to do to his psyche because in so many games they turned into 2 and turned into 3 in short order. I think that's been to me the best part of his game in these last 2 is giving up 1 still in a tight game and coming back with a big save shortly thereafter. It's a huge boost of confidence, I think, for the guys to see that, right, Struddy?
Oh, 100%. 100%. And he just looks very comfortable back there. There was a time, I'm not going to lie, I'd be a little jittery if I was a D-man, but right now he seems to be in place before they need him to be there. So it makes a big, big difference. Very sick number of people on the stream tonight. It's incredible. So give a chance, subscribe or give us a thumbs up on there and tell a friend. We love the community we've created here with you, talking about these Oilers taking a 3-1 win or a 3-1 lead in the series. Let's pause. I think Shargo will be done his 100 push-up routine he does before every show. And we'll get back with him right away. So stay with us, everyone. 2 thumbs up and a woo. 2 claps and a woo. See you in a minute.
Either way.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in bringing exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolanddentistry.com.
Choosing the right health and dental coverage can feel overwhelming, but Alberta Blue Cross is here to make it simple. Their user-friendly website features a free quote tool to guide you through choosing your plan, or you can chat directly with one of their specialists for personalized help. Every plan includes access to personal, nutritional, and financial counseling at no extra cost. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/personal to learn more.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
I think the world wants to know what Chief Andy thinks of Stuart Skinner. Chief Andy, little infamous around town, been bouncing from podcast to podcast, absolutely blowing up Skinner. I think he's even gotten chased off the odd show. A regular here on our show, though, always welcome. But come on, Chief Andy, some truth serum here. How are you feeling now, bud? Go ahead and chime in on the stream. Time now for takeaways, brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. Get the perfect cut all summer long with a John Deere mower starting at just $34.99 with financing options available. You can get in the seat of a new mower to tackle your turf from Horizon Ag and Turf. John Deere has been mastering mowing for 60 years. You can sit back, relax, and enjoy the smell of fresh cut grass. Visit Horizon Ag and Turf to find the right lawnmower for you. In-store, online, horizonagturf.com. Struds, what did you think Evan Bouchard going at Rupe Hintz's sore foot immediately in that game? What did you make of that?
Well, I know there are some people that are offended by that. I love it. They're not there to make friends. This isn't a tea party. We're not going golfing later. You're trying to win the game. And I couldn't believe it was Evan Bouchard. I'm not going to lie. I was like, of all the guys, that's the guy. But that made me, it kind of opened my eyes a little bit. But you're trying to win a playoff series. You're not trying to make a friend or get someone to help you get a reservation at the nicest restaurant in Dallas. I love it.
I was surprised it was Bouchard as well. I really was. And not only did he go at it, he chased him down. It wasn't like in the heat of the moment they're battling in front. Like Bouchard actually had to take 3-4. Yeah, he had to take 3-4 strides to get there. So, little surprised that the referee didn't see that one because that was pretty obvious. I saw I think Kulak in front of the net. I thought Skinner in front of the net did it as well. It's like when a guy comes back with a face shield on. The first thing you do in a scrum is grab the face shield. You push it towards the broken nose or the broken jaw or the broken cheekbone or whatever it is. That's why the biggest reason, and Strud, you'll know as well as I do, that players don't like announcing to the media injuries. Because as soon as you announce to the media, then you got a bad left hand. Oh, you got a sore back. Okay. And then the next game, that's where everybody is isolating their slashes. So that's part of playoff hockey, 100%. And when they shake hands at the end of the series, hey, man, I meant nothing about it. I didn't mean anything personal when I was slashing your broken foot. Let's don't take it personal.
The ultimate one of those was Sam Bennett dummying Brad Marchand across the face. And then that handshake after. Struddy, you're just vicious, though. You just know people's weaknesses. Like you go at people's weak. You know, I have a sensitivity about. I'm self-conscious about my late night snacking, and yet as I'm hopping off as I leave, I hear a chirp about my late night snacking. You think it's hilarious. You go at people's soft spots, don't you?
Listen, it's a carefully crafted comment that reaches its end goal, right? You just drop something in there. I also said you do the 100 push-ups. One good one, one bad one, right?
Thanks. Appreciate that. We do have a little bit of, I don't know, is this a mea culpa here from Chief Andy? Zuby, what do you think?
Yeah,
mea culpa?
I think it's nice.
He's been pretty intense on Skinner for a long time. So this might be as good as it gets from Chief Andy. Dusty, if you're listening out there somewhere, Stu has done really well as of late, Shogger. I'm proud of him like a grandpa. What a great time for him to improve. I'm all for the Oilers doing better. Well, Chief Andy, says a lot of Oiler fans, I think. Welcome to the party. But yeah, fair comment there. Good to see Stuart Skinner getting on the right side of it and playing well. Let's talk about team defense, guys. I said it before the break, 2 games in a row, the Oilers have not only defended leads, but basically snuffed out the Dallas Stars offense. 2 games in a row, Struddy, where they got 4 third-period shots in a game where they're trying to get themselves back into it. So desperate did they feel at even strength, so frustrated at even strength, they couldn't wait to pull their goalie. Holy snap, was that an early pull because there was just nothing happening at even strength.
Well, yeah, so I want to start with that goal. I'm not sure what was going on there. It was like Dallas wasn't ready, and they were surprised that, Leon wins it, and all of a sudden, boom, it's in the air, and it's gone. Like, there's no compete there. At least I didn't think there was enough compete there going on to try to get that puck back when you're outmanned. But I was really impressed. Well, I have been impressed the last 2 games with the Oilers playing the third. They're not sitting back. They're going after them. And it doesn't mean you have to take risks. And I want to be clear. You're not pinching or jumping in for hope plays. You're above the puck. You're putting the pucks in areas, you get it back. And then you're putting pressure on the other team, whether it's a forward or a D. So really 2 impressive third periods, Brownie.
Yeah, I'll talk more about the play on that goal. It's in my brownie points afterwards, because there is some things to discuss on that empty net goal. But I don't think, and it's funny, and this is where Connor McDavid got bristly with some questions earlier in this series about being a good defensive team. This isn't new to the Oilers. Last year when the Oilers won 18 straight, it wasn't on the back of offense. It was on the back of great defense. The reason they went to the Stanley Cup Finals last year and went to Game 7 wasn't on the back of 7-6 victories. They were a good defensive team that could kill penalties. So they know how to do it. And it's hard. Playing defense is hard. It's much easier to go play a river hockey game and you can win at 7-6 and the Oilers are good enough. But the commitment to block shots, to be physical, be on the proper side defensively, it's hard to do that 82 straight games. But you can do it for 2 months. So the Edmonton Oilers are a good defensive team with a veteran group that understands what it takes to win. We saw it a bunch of times tonight where Connor McDavid coming up with speed. Okay, I don't have the numbers. I'm just going to push it into the corner. Leon Draisaitl. Okay, I'm just going to push it behind the defenseman. They know what they need to do, and they've been doing it to a T, and it is frustrating when you're trying to come back from a goal down, and every time you pick the puck up, it's in your own zone. You get to the blue line, and they just flip it all the way back out. And they've got 5 guys waiting for you. Again, the Oilers did a fantastic job in back-to-back games in the third period, giving absolutely nothing to the Dallas Stars.
We saw what they did to Jack Eichel in the last round. Let's talk a little bit about one Mikko Rantanen, Struddy's adopted son. So Rantanen's line attempts, 17-5 against, 22.7% Corsi on this night. Now let's go over the other lines. Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnson, Mikael Granlund, 85.7%. Mason Marchment, Tyler Seguin, Matt Duchene, 64. Back Blackwell and Steele, 66. The other lines, Struds, in terms of shot share, are pushing it in the right direction. That top line was outshot 8-3 at even strength tonight. The Oilers are doing an exceptionally good job against Mikko Rantanen specifically, and whoever he's out there with.
as I watch them play, it feels like they don't have a lot of tempo, right? And Mikko, he's not a super fast guy, but I feel like he can play a little quicker. And the line, it just doesn't seem to be gelling right now like it was in previous series. So I think we got to give credit to Oilers for what they're doing, but they look fast, like they're slow to pucks. The Oilers D are quick to it, and they're moving it kind of quickly away from trouble in their own end and up the ice, and then they're trying to get it back. And I don't know that those three are really built to go and get pucks back on the forecheck, Brownie.
Well, I think part of it, I think Rupi Hintz he's not at 100%, and it was obvious. He labored at times. Jason Robertson, he missed a number of games to start the playoffs. He got hurt in the last game of the season. He doesn't look healthy yet. So you got two players playing with Rantanen that I don't believe are 100% or close to it. Rantanen, earlier in the playoffs, he was playing with Granlund. Granlund's got energy, he's got speed, and he creates. Rantanen right now, he's having to create. He's having to go in on the forecheck. He's the guy that's in the corner. He's having to create for others. Nobody's giving him a look. He's not getting a puck in a spot where he's going to get the shot on net. He's having to do all the work in the offensive zone. And as Strud said before the series started, he is a big man that's not fleet of foot. He takes physical punishment, and he accepts it and absorbs it. But over and over and over again, he doesn't have an easy shift. There's not a shift where he can just get in the open and someone finds him. Rupi Hintz, when he's 100%, can do that, but he can't right now. And I just think the Oilers are just attacking Rantanen, knowing that the other guys playing with him aren't creating at all. And that's why you saw the other lines where they had a little speed, little jump. But you got Mikko Rantanen right now playing with two guys that aren't 100%, and the Oilers are just attacking Rantanen, knowing the other two can't get it done themselves.
So Brett Kulak and Evan Bouchard were on the ice the most tonight against Mikko Rantanen. Kulak in particular. Shots were 4-1 for the Oilers when Rantanen was on the ice at even strength, and Kulak was out there as well. Bouchard, similar numbers. This pairing, Struddy, they've put these guys together, and they're both playing great hockey right now. But the level that Evan Bouchard has gotten back to again here for a second straight playoff, when you compare this to what we talked about through most of the regular season, I mean, Brownie will. I guess the regular season doesn't matter, Brownie, because if you do it like this in the playoffs, Struds, you earn the money. And Evan Bouchard, once again, he's doing it again in the playoffs. And that's what we wondered, and that's what he's doing. It was not a one-off. He's out there against the other team's best player and running numbers like this.
He is. He made a pass today. I don't know if you guys saw it. He was kind of facing the corner. There's a bunch of people around him, and he just turned and just slid it behind him to the middle to, I believe it was Nuge and Hopkins. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, on TV, I can see it, but I'm like, you shouldn't have to be able to make that pass. And it was right on his tape, and it was such a great play. I've made a note of that on my book here. But yeah, he's playing really well. And, Kulak, the thing I like about Kulak against Mikko and that whole line is that he can skate, but he's big. And he's big and skates really well. So he covers ground. And if he arrives there, he's not getting pushed off the puck by Mikko. No, Mikko, when I believe he's playing his best, he's like Leon, holding the puck, kind of tossing guys around, making plays he wants to because he's just physically dominant over you. And the Oilers D, other than Stetcher, but he brings a lot of fight to a party. All those guys are big, and they can skate all to a man fairly well. So he's not able to do that as much against them. So, Bouchard and Kulak are obviously doing really well. As a side note, I think that this win, if I was the coaching staff, I would hold off on bringing back Ekholm, just to make sure you can just be 100%. You're up 3-1. I don't take it for granted there's a win in Dallas, Brownie, but I would think longer term.
Yeah, I have no idea where Ekholm is health-wise, so I still believe that if he's healthy, you put him back in. As for the Bouchard Kulak pairing, and praise all the praise in the world to Bouchard, but to me, this pairing has been against Rantanen. It's been Kulak going head-to-head against Rantanen. If you just look in the corners, it's usually on Kulak's side, and he's going head-to-head with him. And as Strud said, Kulak skates so well that he's not getting beat. And a lot of Rantanen stuff is where he kind of takes the puck along the boards and then spins very quickly and attacks the net. And he's good at it, very, very good at it. but Kulak's got the mobility to be able to follow and then use his size. So Bouchard's been good, but I think in the defensive zone, it has been the play of Kulak going head-to-head against Rantanen, which is incredible when A, Kulak is normally in your third pairing, and B, there was a lot of people calling for Kulak to be traded to open up salary cap space at the end of last season. The Oilers didn't trade him, and Kulak has been excellent in this playoff run.
Well,
yeah, that was
many
me.
thought, well, yeah, you did mention that, Struds. And
yeah. I said it because to find a spot for Broberg, right? Broberg needed a spot. You had 3 guys on the left. There's no room. If you're gonna, I understand why he wanted out, right?
Well, then St. Louis did them a favor. They got rid of that Broberg problem.
Yeah,
so we don't have to worry about that.
Well, the way Brett Kulak plays in the playoffs, I mean, he's a third pairing defenseman all year long, and then all of a sudden he becomes a second pairing defenseman in the playoffs. Although this season was probably his best regular season overall and looked like a second pairing defenseman on a lot of nights. And now he's playing like a first pairing defenseman, for goodness sakes. Like he is. He's playing like a first pairing defenseman, a complimentary first pairing defenseman. This Oiler blue line, my goodness, they move the puck beautifully. Stan Bowman is the architect of this because it was he who believed the right thing to do was to lean into being a good puck moving team. They didn't go get the big tree to shut him down. They didn't go get the big penalty killer, the big stout defensive guy. He didn't go and do any of that. Didn't get the Gavrikov, didn't get the Edmondson, didn't go get any of those. He leaned into more puck movers. And we're seeing every night how much that is paying off right now because they're moving the puck beautifully. Guys, I want to talk about Trent Frederic as a possibility here. I thought Frederic looked as good tonight on a few shifts. There was the one bust up ice where he was full speed, and I was like, whoa, we haven't seen him skate that fast yet. So I thought he presented himself as a potential option tonight with some strong play, Struds. With Hyman out, if he's out moving forward, they gave him some looks on that line. He's got to be in the conversation a little bit here, I would think. They're going to have to give somebody an elevated look, and I think we would all agree that's not exactly a lock to be Jeff Skinner, Struds.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's not funny now. Well, not funny, but they're maybe looking for another guy to come in and help out with their depth. So, yeah, Fred, I know what you're talking about. He did look like his stride, it looked like he had a chance to kind of get it a little bit longer and get it in there quicker. And, sometimes on TV, you're like, who is that again? Like, you're looking like he's a big man who's skating that well. So, and I think that's a little bit of opportunity as well. Hasn't had a ton of opportunity at times. He's been kind of on a different role. But when he was brought in, he was a guy we talked about playing with Leon Draisaitl, right? They could have played beside Leon because he can score somewhat, and maybe not as well as Kane, but he can score, or as well as Hyman, I guess in this case, Brownie. But he's often on the right. He came from the Bruins. They believe in being on the right side of the puck, playing the right way. So he's going to complement whoever he plays with that and the physicality and his skating, which seems to be, especially tonight, looked like he had it going.
Yeah, I'm not sold on it yet. I mean, I haven't seen anything from Frederic yet that would say that, okay, he deserves minutes in your top 6. The injury obviously pushed him back. There's other players that have given more so far, but I guess if you don't have Brown and you don't have Hyman, those are 2 guys in your top 9 that eat up pretty big minutes. So they're going to have to find players. He'll get a look. But even in the looks that he got tonight, honestly, Shogger, I didn't really notice him a whole lot creating. And if you're playing with Connor, you don't have to just be able to skate with him. You have to think with him because he thinks the game at a different level. And Trent Frederic has never played with a guy that can think the game like Connor McDavid. But you start looking down the lineup, who can it be? And that's one of the reasons I think Chris Knobloch gave him a look-see tonight, thinking longer term, who's going to play with Connor McDavid as Chris Knobloch is actually going to have to really think before he puts the lines together on Thursday night because 2 big pieces may be missing.
Yeah, and I think maybe with Frederic, whether it's a top 6 opportunity or not, I feel like tonight he showed them, give me some more minutes and I'm going to get going. Like I feel like he get him going, get his legs going, get him out there more regularly. He's skating better. I'm interested to see what he can do. I don't know if it ends up being in a top 6 role or not. The point you made about Ekholm, Struds, I can't help but wonder if the injury to Zach Hyman. I don't know what Connor Brown's availability is going to look like, but is this not the perfect game to slide Ekholm in, go with an 11-7 formation, at least get him some minutes before a potential cup final, Struds? At least get him some minutes and get him out there, and don't make it game one with the Florida Panthers bearing down on you.
I mean, the 7. You guys can't get over the 7. No one wants to play 7. D-man do not want to play 7.
It's not what you want to do. It's
every
the
forward wants
Every
to
forward.
be.
Hey, guys, we love what you're doing. Honestly, you 6 have been amazing. This is what we're going to do. We're going to add another guy and disrupt the flow of the 6 you're doing it. So that's what our plan is here. I know we got other 4s. No, we're not going to use that. We're going to add another 7. I can't agree. So again, Brownie, you make a good point. We have no idea what his health is at. No idea. But if they, if you can say, well, another 4 or 5 days is good, then leave it alone and let those guys, because the D are fine. Do not mess with the D unless you're one in, one out.
But here we go, Jason. Here we're going to throw it at you. It's Ekholm or Jeff Skinner. Who do you think Chris Knobloch's going to go with?
Well, where's Connor Brown at? We know he can't play for sure.
Well, from what now on our show with Bob Stauffer mentioned a few times on air that he's in concussion protocol, which means he can't play for a week.
No, I get that.
So if that's the case, he cannot play in Dallas on Thursday night. They say he's fine, he's feeling good, but concussion protocol says he cannot play for 1 week. Now, that's just what I was told. So I'm assuming that Connor and Hyman aren't playing on Thursday. And that's the case, you have to go back to the press box. And next man up would probably be Jeff Skinner, who, as we know, has not found his way into the trust of the coaching staff as much as other players. Thus, if Ekholm is capable or able to play, I do believe they would go 11-7 if that is an option.
2 right wingers, 2 out, right? That's your...
Yeah, they all can
do you
play
not
either
see
side.
the benefit here, Struds? Do you not see the reasoning given this situation? By the way, Stephen
Max
Petrick
Jones,
says,
that's true.
He said, Max Jones. Stephen Petrick says, bad take, Schauger. Todd Peterson says, Studs is so right. I think he meant to say Struds is so right. So people are leaning your way. But Struds, yes, all things being equal and everything being normal, yes, 11-7 sucks and you don't want to do it. Do you not see the functionality in bringing in Ekholm for his first game in how long, so you don't have to overplay him, you can ease him in, and then you get him into a game before the Stanley Cup final?
I can't agree with that at all. I'm sorry. So let's say that Hyman and Brown are both out for an extended period of time. Do you not want to get another player's beak wet? Skinner's played 1 game, right? Has he played 1 game?
That's 1 more than Matthias Ekholm, though, Jason.
I know, but Ekholm, you know what you're going to get from Ekholm. Skinner,
what are you going to get from Skinner too?
He's been out. He has 1 playoff game and he hasn't played. So I think that it's more important to get. I believe if Ekholm comes back, and I know we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's say the Oilers win this series and they move on. I feel comfortable. I can anticipate what Ekholm brings. If for whatever reason the 2 players that didn't play, or one didn't play tonight, the other one didn't play much, are unable to play to start that series, do we know who that next forward up is? Are you going to keep dressing these magical 7D together to play and still not have forwards up there?
Maybe we just put Ekholm up on forward then.
No, put Nurse up there. Everyone wants to be a forward anyways. No, I understand. Listen, I'm being a bit funny, but I do understand what you guys are saying. I get it. But I think they have to look at it. So we don't know how bad Brown is, and we don't know what's up with Hyman.
There was a great comment that was going to, so that I didn't take the last word, and I lost it. Where is it? Basically, I lost to what it was, because I would love to give them credit. But this was a point they made, and we'll close the conversation on this. Knobloch will make the right decision. Chris Knobloch has shown,
100%.
Give him the benefit of the doubt. Whichever way he goes here, it's more than likely going to be the right decision, because he's got a hell of a good feel for his lineup. Can't wait to see who's right. That was Takeaways, brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. When we come back, we got brownie points. Struddy's World. Ask us anything as well. So if you got questions for us, fire them in on the stream. Look forward to that portion of the show. We are banging over 1,500 And that's just on YouTube live with us. So pound the thumbs up, pound the love button. We'll be right back with Brownie Points at Struddy's World.
Join over 250,000 Canadians who have upgraded to Canada's best mattress. Douglas is proudly made in Canada and ships directly to your door for free. Douglas is easy to set up. Enjoy perfectly balanced comfort and an easy-to-clean machine washable cover. Get a free sleep bundle with your Douglas mattress. Try risk-free for 365 nights. Get your Douglas mattress today.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
The challenge has been issued. We're all about self-improvement here on Got Your Back. We'll get to that in just a minute. Time now for Brownie Points, brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. The ultimate jerky haul. Hamel's has you covered. 4 pounds of mouth-watering jerky for $139, plus 5 free jerky-flavored pepperoni sticks with your order. Free shipping Alberta-wide. That's a whole lot of premium protein-packed goodness, perfect for the road trip, the job sites, or being the snack hero at home. Visit albertajerky.com to order. Before we get into everybody's favorite segment, Brownie Points, we're all about growth and self-improvement and honest critique and criticism of one another. So I have a critique and criticism for you two. You share one for me, and we're going to challenge each other to not make the mistake for this entire segment. So I will go first. I challenge each of you to not say 100% at any point in this segment. Do you accept?
Absolutely.
What about variations?
Yeah, whatever variations you want, Struds.
So like if I said I'm going to give 110% this segment, would that be
That's
rattling
fine.
the cages? Okay.
That's fine. No,
change
the
the
reference
percentage.
point, you can't, when somebody asks you something, you can't in agreement say 100%. That's the challenge. And in return, I will do my best not to go, because I do way too much of that. I sound like a knucklehead. So no ums from me, no 100%s from you. We all agree?
Yeah, but that doesn't bother us. I don't get bothered by it.
All right, Brownie Points. Go, Rob.
All right, here we go. I've got 76 brownie points to the Oilers' Chris Knobloch, who without Zach Hyman used at least 76 different line combinations tonight. Hyman was a huge loss for the Oilers, but for a team that changes lines more than any other in the National Hockey League during the regular season, it did not faze them at all when they went with just 11 forwards. And as Jason Strudwick said a little earlier in this broadcast, he is hoping they go 11 forwards again on Thursday night. I got 94 brownie points to Stu Skinner, who in his 5 wins in this postseason has a save percentage of 94%. He is 5-1 in his last 6 starts against Vegas and Dallas, both powerhouses in this Western Conference. And in those games, he has given up 0, 0, 0, 1, and 1 goal, outplaying 2 Four Nation Cup goalies during that stretch. I got 60 brownie points to 40-year-old Corey Perry, who scored his 60th NHL playoff goal. And tonight, and I went back and looked at the game sheet tonight. Tonight, the only forwards that played more minutes than Corey Perry, number 29, number 97, and 93. 40-year-old Corey Perry played more minutes up front than any other forward except for the top three. A signing that many people question has turned into a signing that you cannot think that the Oilers could have lived without. Corey Perry has been that good here in the playoffs. I got -4, and this goes back, we were talking about the goal that you didn't think the Dallas Stars competed enough on. I'm giving -4 brownie points to Dallas Stars coach Pete DeBoer, who without the goalie pulled in a face-off in his offensive zone in the most important part of the hockey game, didn't have their best player, Miro Heiskanen, on the ice. He is their best player. I know they went 5 forwards and 1 defenseman. He's their best player. And on the lost draw, Duchesne, who was a forward playing defense, didn't recognize what his assignment was and was standing on the blue line when Kapanen went flying by him. Heiskanen would not have allowed Kapanen to fly by him there, and he would have got back there, and they would have still had an opportunity to come back in this hockey game. To me, this was a horrible, horrible coaching decision by Pete DeBoer. And finally, and this one's a long one, I got 5 brownie points to the Edmonton Oilers if they finish this off in 5 points, or in 5 games on Thursday in Dallas. So I'm going to give them all 5 points if this series is done, because you do not want to give the Dallas Stars any belief, because we saw last year in the playoffs, a 3-0 series deficit for the Oilers. They said, let's just win 1. They win 1, they get a little belief. They go to Florida, they win 2. Now they're confident. They win game 6, and they went into game 7 believing they could win that series. It didn't work their way, but they believed. So that's one reason. The number 2 reason, in the last 4 games between the 2 teams that are probably going to play in the Stanley Cup Finals, the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers, the Panthers have lost 50 goal scorer Reinhart. They've lost top 4 defenseman Mikkola and depth forward Greer. And the Oilers have lost 50 goal scorer Hyman and third liner Brown. You want to finish this series off as soon as possible. 5 very good players from the 2 teams probably playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs are out of their lineups right now because of being injured in hockey games. You have a chance to win it in an elimination game and eliminate the other team as soon as possible. And those, my friends, are my brownie points.
Rye Guy says Brownie earning that jerky sponsorship tonight. Those were poignant. Struds, do you agree with most of those?
Oh, 100%. Duchesne was so far wide. Like, I'm not sure. I actually think he might. Did he come out of the penalty box?
Duchesne or Kapanen?
Struds, that did not last. The first
you already lost
words out of your mouth. The first words. You could not have bitten onto that hook any harder.
You teed that up.
Yeah, no. But it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. He was accurate. He was accurate in his number. But at Duchesne, I don't know what the hell he was doing. He was so far over. I was like, what is he doing over there? But that's a forward, right? They don't think
that was a forward, not understanding. He's staring at the puck, Struds. I mean, he's a forward at the blue line. Okay, look at that puck's way down in the corner. He flipped it. He's watching the puck get flipped as Kapanen goes flying by him. How do you not have Heiskanen on the ice? He's your best player. Your best player. And it's not like the 5 forwards they out are lighting the scoreboard up. None of them are scoring. Heiskanen, I think, has the most goals in this series for the Dallas Stars. He's got 1. So to me, that was a big mistake.
Just puck recovery too. He's so quick. He gets the pucks quickly. I'd want to have that guy out there just be a rover. Go around and get pucks.
100%.
Oh,
110.
You did that on purpose? You guys aren't taking my challenges seriously. This was a serious challenge, and now you're just throwing it away, Brownie.
Throwing it away like a lot of the defensive efforts I made in my NHL career. Just throwing it right through the slot.
So much for self-improvement here on the show. Yeah. Okay, those were brownie points brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. Let's roll the animation. Roll the cartoon, Zuby, because it is time for Struddy's World.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Gotta look good.
Let's dip into Struddy's World, shall we? And that will be presented by DLR Vinyl Products, Alberta's #1 vinyl product supplier. They offer top quality materials to build a fence or deck that won't rot, fade, or fall apart. If you need a skilled contractor to take care of the job or prefer a DIY approach, DLR can set you up with all that you need. Canadian owned and operated, locations in Calgary and in Edmonton. Visit them online today, dlrvinylproducts.ca. You ready to do this, Struddy?
I'm prepared. Yes.
That was close. You almost said it again.
As a D-man, you got to give 100% every game.
You donkey.
No, you do, and I think that we've discussed a lot of the mobility and the way that the D are pass the puck around. It's really impressive. But something that you can see the Oilers using all the time, and I don't know why other teams aren't able or maybe trying not to shut it down, is that when a forward feels pressure in the offensive zone and they're on, let's say they're to the right of the netminder, they just hammer it all the way around to the opposite side defenseman. That D-man is jumping down at times, getting that puck, but it's a way of, you do that to relieve pressure, right? I'm feeling pressure in the corner. I'm going to throw it all the way to the opposite side D-man along the wall, rim it along the dasher and get it there. And the Oilers, sometimes those pucks don't come all the way to blue line, but the D-men are jumping in and pinching so well. And Brownie, I want your thought, because I don't think that the Dallas Stars are recognizing when that's happening, and challenging that player enough, getting a stick in there, even just trying to tip it over anything. And I know they've got to protect the middle. I know where they're at, but that D-man's able to get there. And I would like to see more pressure on those guys. I know Bouchard's there and he doesn't seem to have any pulse. But if you guys know the play I mean, where they just rim it all the way around one way or the other to relieve the pressure. And I think the Stars could do a better job of handling that, but it's a great play by forwards and D, kind of mixing and matching.
You're talking about in the offensive end, right?
The offensive end, yeah.
Yeah. So what happens? It is a smart hockey play, because every team defends the same way. They've got, defenseman in the corner, the center for support, the defenseman in front of the net, taking the net front presence, a winger up on the boards, blocking the pass going to the defenseman, and then the offside winger is in the slot. Yeah. That he's there for safety. So the only player that is truly open is the far defenseman. And the way to get it to him the safest is around the boards. And all of a sudden, that defenseman's all free. He's got all the time in the world. And you're right, Struds. He's coming, and there's no physicality. Like we were taught, when that defenseman starts pinching down, run through him. Run through him. You might not get the puck the first time or the second time, but that defenseman is going to stop wanting to come down if every time he does, he gets run over. And the Dallas Stars aren't doing that. But the problem is, and the Dallas Stars are the least physical team that the Oilers have played in the playoffs. Now, there's only been 3 teams, but they might be one of the least physical teams in the playoffs. They don't hit at all. Jamie Benn would be their most physical forward. I don't know if he's thrown more than 3 hits in this series. And I've seen him be a menace up front. And I don't know if he's just exhausted, but he has not done. There was a time tonight, Struds, where he could have run through Darnell Nurse after Darnell passed the puck. He turned away. So they don't have forwards. Mason Marchment will occasionally hit, but this is a non-physical team. So when those defensemen, as you're saying, are pinching down, they're doing it without any fear. And the one thing, when you're watching the puck come around, as a defenseman, you've got to keep your eye on it, because here it comes, and you can just feel footsteps coming, and you're like, oh no, okay, just push it back. There's not that fear. You got time and space to make a play, and the Oilers are using it to a huge advantage, and that's how they're keeping their offensive plays alive. Because, okay, I'm completely shut off from this end. I'm going to throw it around to Bouchard. Now we're going to reset, and they're getting good 30, 40 seconds in the offensive zone.
Like, I guess what I'd say, Brown, is that, so that winger would come and push him down the wall. And then what I'd like to see is the D-men come in that corner and shut him down there, and have another forward, the center, come in and kind of lock him into one area and pressure him. But it feels like they have time to make plays. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why they're allowing that. Like, I get you don't want to chase out of the middle too much, but this guy's under pressure and he's on a bit of an island, because everyone's on the other side. Now the pucks come all the way over. So if you push them down, that D-man can kind of take away that wall, and the other forward come in. I think there's an opportunity to kind of strangle this a bit, but it's not there.
Well, and then you throw in the fact too, Strud, say it's a Bouchard or something's pinching, and you get physical with them. If you knock them over, 100%. If you get a jailbreak, now you got a forward back there playing defense, and you got a defenseman chasing. We used to always say, if defenseman comes in, tangle him up. so that he can't get back into a good defensive position. But the Dallas Stars have done none of that in this series.
You know, when you guys get talking hockey like that on that level, I almost feel like I'm just a listener on the podcast. I forgot I was hosting it. I was just drawn right in. I'm not even going to point out
listener,
the fact
first
that you
time
said,
talker.
Yeah, I'm not even going to point out the fact that you said 100% again in one of those answers. I'm not even going to point that out. That's how impressed I was with that back and forth. No, Struz
I did. I got it in. Slipped it in.
That guy over there. Yeah. Quick little whistle after the fact. That was Struddy's World. That was a great edition of Struddy's World and a great follow-up conversation by you two. Zuby, it was a turning point on this show when the Blomskinator came over from Vancouver Canucks fandom to Got Your Back. What it did is it opened up this idea that this show can be for all comers, people from all different teams, whoever you cheer for. We are a welcoming group here on Got Your Back. And Blomskaruni was the first sort of test subject of that. He's a regular. Guys, we need to say hello tonight to Kayla Weethorn. Kayla has joined this chat. Zuby, have you noticed her on the chat tonight?
Oh, yeah. I've just been chatting with her. Here, she just said, thank you all for the warm welcome. Y'all are making me feel a little less poop emoji after my Stars just lost again. Yeah, she's great. We're all having a little chat with her right now. Very friendly welcomes from, we were just saying, we got Blommer, our Vancouver fan. We got Joe Dokes, our Florida fan. I said to him before we went on the air, not counting any chickens, but it's crazy. He's been with us here basically since the finals last year, and here we are on the cusp of the two teams doing it again. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's super fun that we get. And we used to have somebody from Winnipeg, and someone was saying we had a Utah Mammoth fan as well. But we love having these people that come in and contribute to the chat, and just like we're all hockey fans here, so we try to keep it civil
and exactly and treated well. So welcome one, welcome all, and then there's this Chief Andy guy. I'm kidding. Do we want to, Brownie, are you okay to stick around for core adjustments here? We can talk a little bit about line combinations for next game and such, and then we'll let you go.
Well, now that I know Kayla's listening, so absolutely.
Yeah, maybe she'll send some barbecue up.
Yeah,
I love Texas. So I do. I'm a big fan of Dallas, Texas. That is a great
barbecue
city.
And a few Bud Lights, 2 claps and a woo. That's a good night.
Time now for core adjustments, brought to you by HSE Core Services. If you're a small to medium-sized business, HSE Core has your back when it comes to health and safety compliance, from creating and managing tailored health and safety programs that'll meet all legislation and core requirements. They support client operations every step of the way. Visit www.hsecor.com. That's hsecor.com for more information. I'm just going to go back to my notes here. I was writing down some line combinations that Knobloch was chucking out there. And he admitted after the game, he basically said to Leon Draisaitl heading into the third period, get ready to double shift, because they were shorthanded. No. And so Draisaitl, and he hadn't played that much through the night. So Draisaitl got a lot. We're not going to read into these lines is what I'm saying, because Draisaitl was being double shifted. One that we did see a couple of times, we saw Henrique with Draisaitl and Kapanen. We saw Kane with Draisaitl and Frederick. That was one of the ones that we also saw. Did you guys notice anything else out there that he was trying that you thought maybe might have a chance to work? Brownie, you see anything?
I like him with Kane. I do. That is a big, strong line. And if you throw Frederick on the other side, that is a big physical line that it'd be hard to contain. Wasn't it? I think it was the one really good play that, Leon made a bunch, where it was the backhand pass. It was to Kane, wasn't it? That would have actually iced the game before the empty net goal. Ottinger made a fantastic save on that. The one thing when Kane, and now I know that Kane and Leon haven't always had a lot of chemistry on the ice, but the one thing that if Kane is playing with Leon, that is a proven goal scorer. And that's something that Leon has not had with him all playoff long, whether it's Kapanen or Podkolzin or whoever you want. Evander Kane scores goals, and Evander Kane puts himself in position to score goals. So when Leon was going down the ice, nobody was catching Kane. He was going to find his spot. Now, that was a good save by Ottinger. But yeah, I have no problem with Evander Kane going back up with Leon Draisaitl and having a double-headed monster for Dallas to try to contain when they get in Texas in a couple of days' time, because that would give more 5-on-5 offense to the Oilers if Leon has a proven goal scorer instead of just a couple of defensive specialists.
Yeah, the depth's going to be challenged, that's for sure. So are you guys thinking that you'll always have two of the big guys, Nuge, Connor, and Leon, two of them always be center, and then one guy rotates? So in this scenario, you're talking about Nuge being a winger, and then 97-29 are centers?
Yep. That's what I think next game. And because they're going to go 11-4, so that way you can double shift Leon in the bottom four every once in a while too.
Well, they got Josh Brown. They could probably go 10-8, right? Try to get him. Back.
You smart ass. Yeah, smart ass. What do you think? Who goes with Nuge and... So you don't think that they keep Nuge and McDavid necessarily together, Brownie, and just try and find a winger to play over on the other side? This feels like... Okay, sorry, maybe I misunderstood what you said, but does this not feel like a moment where they tap Corey Perry and say, hey, here you go. Here's some opportunity up in that top six?
Yeah, I think McDavid would play with Nuge. I think Kane will play with Draisaitl, and then you find who you want to play with him. Corey Perry will play on one of those two lines. I don't know which one you put him on. I think that's something that you discuss with Leon and Connor. But yeah, I think you have two twosomes. I think Leon and Kane and Nugent Hopkins and McDavid. But again, this will be the most that Chris Knobloch's had to work because you just took out. Connor Brown is a very, very consistent player, especially playoff times for the Edmonton Oilers. He plays consistent minutes. He's always out there penalty killing, and he has got the trust of the coaching staff and deserves the trust. And Zach Hyman is Zach Hyman. Those are two big guys, two important guys out of your lineup on Thursday night. Now, that's saying, expecting that they're not playing. So Chris Knobloch, I mean, it's a little bit of a patchwork that he has not had to do. The Oilers have been fairly healthy up front, especially over the last couple of years in the playoffs. Take away the Kane injury last year, but there's going to be some work for Chris Knobloch before Thursday's game.
I put Kapanen. Just Kapanen with Draisaitl. I think I like that. They seem to have something there, and he's fast. They need more speed there.
And I can't believe how hard he hits. Like, I'm in the press box. We are like 6,000 feet above ice level at Rogers. You can feel it when he hits someone. Like he's
the best hitter on the team. His timing, his understanding of leverage points. He's technically he's the best hitter on the team.
Yeah,
brilliant.
They feel it.
One other name. A few names have been thrown out, but the one I thought might be kind of interesting. DJ Regier says Noah Philp, noting that faceoffs were not very good tonight. Now he's another center. You've lost wingers to injury. What do you guys think? Any consideration for that?
I don't think so. I actually think Max Jones has a better chance of being in instead of Noah Philp. And I think actually, I mean, that one gentleman that I think Max Jones might have a better chance than Jeff Skinner being in the lineup as well.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
If he comes in and hits, but I don't know, man.
Interesting.
It's just a trust thing. This is not what you and I would pick, but this is just reading what Chris Knobloch has done with the players throughout the year.
Yeah. Last one before we let you go, Brownie. Are you sure the right thing to do is to go back to Stu Skinner in the next game?
Well, you know what? We might want to rest him because the finals are coming up. So maybe we should rest him. I think this is the best opportunity right now to get Oliver Rodriguez in. This is a good time to get him in. You know, he hasn't played Strud since the end of the season. Just in case you need him, you might want to play him.
Get some playoff experience, right? Looking ahead.
All right. That was Core Adjustments brought to you by HSC Core Services. And the Blomskinator in says 99%. So he's not fully convinced of that point. Brownie, we're going to let you go, my friend. You are going to join Jason Strudwick tomorrow on Struddy's World, I hear. Is that your world debut on Struddy's World?
It is. It is a big day. I got a couple podcasts tomorrow, and that's the first time I'm ever going to be on the because I thought we all were getting podcasts, but apparently just Struddy got it. So I'm pretty excited about that.
You'll get if you want your own, Brownie, you say the word, buddy. We can sell that.
Oh no, that seems like a lot of work. That's a lot of work. I'll come on. I'll just be like the side piece. I'll just be your side piece tomorrow, Struds.
Yeah, McMahon.
Looking forward to it.
12 o'clock Mountain Time. Yeah.
Okay.
See you, Brownie.
Bye.
See you, big guy.
All right. Rob Brown. What a beauty. One of a kind, hey, Struds, that guy?
Oh,
like, honestly.
The most unique character. Most unique character I've ever met.
I mean, we don't want to let him hear us say this, but it was a good idea bringing him onto the show. Like, we were the first 2 seasons, just you and me. We tried some different people here, and there were lots of wonderful people, but Brownie was a bit of a game changer for us because he thinks the game so bizarrely different than you do. It blows my mind sometimes listening to you guys talk.
Yeah, it's good because I'm always wondering when I'm watching what he'd think about this play or that play, like the one with the D-man. I think they got to be better. SARS, I think they can be better on that play.
I don't have the heart to tell him that it's Pete DeBoer and not DeBoers because we have a sponsor that's called DeBoers, and I think it's just great advertising for DeBoers. I think we're just going to keep letting him call him Pete DeBoers.
Oh, how about last round, Peter Angel or whatever you call them, Petrangelo? Peter Angelos or something. I'm like, what?
You had an all-timer. What was you had an all-timer too that you screwed up. Zuby, do you remember what that was? It was a name. You weren't trying to say Jerome McGinley or something, were you? Like, do you remember that one, Struddy? Your tongue was tied into knots.
Oh, there's a lot.
We were howling. The best. Well,
to me, I don't chirp many people about the way they speak. I'm the last guy that should chirp that.
The best one in recent memory is you calling Drager Daryl Dragon on.
That's the one. Dragon. It was so funny.
I'd forgotten.
Daryl Dragon. That is pretty funny, actually. Daryl Dragon.
I died laughing when I heard that. And drags his face. Like what? Okay. All right. We are way over time tonight. Although, you know what? For the number we have live with us tonight, happy to go long tonight because it's such a great group. But we're tired. We're getting punchy. So let's push through. Scoreboard right now, Struds. It'll maybe be an opportunity for us to chat about that other series. And the scoreboard is brought to you by Canadian Club. The all-new CC Club Classic 18-year-old high proof comes in at 58%, their highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date. Full-bodied whiskey, aromas of caramel toffee, spicy vanilla, and a rich oak with a butterscotch finish as well. So the Carolina Hurricanes stay alive, Struds. The next game of that series is set to go tomorrow night. And that's a big one. If the Hurricanes can keep this thing alive and keep grinding down the Panthers a little bit, every period they have to play for a potential Stanley Cup final matchup here is good for the Oilers, assuming that's the way it goes.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, Oilers fans should be cheering for Carolina for sure. They want this to be extended 100%. But I guess what I'd say is I've been really impressed by Logan Stankoven. He's a smaller guy, but that goal he scored was a thing of beauty. And I believe in this round, he has more goals than Mikko Rantanen. I'm not going to compare him, but just to kind of talk about what he's got. So that is a huge one for them. But just an impressive game. They're 1-0 basically till the end of the game when they got a couple empty netters, Shoggy. But that was really impressive. Really impressive win. And do they have a toehold now? I have my doubts, but at least they have a toehold, a bit of a toehold.
Is that because I say that all the time?
No.
Okay.
No. That
was another one that I noticed I say all the time. So I thought maybe you were trying to take a shot at me there by using my saying.
No, not a shot. Not a shot.
Okay.
But no, I think it's important. I like Oilers fans cheer for, because if in some crazy world Carolina can win tomorrow, then the Oilers can clear it out on Thursday. They'll have to play more games than the Oilers, which I'd really expect that going into this series.
Yeah. Were you doing Memorial Cup in our Take a Lap segment?
No, I can.
So no. Let's make mention of it right now.
Yeah.
Medicine Hat Tigers punched their ticket through from the Western Hockey League, punched their ticket through to the Mem Cup final, 3-1 win over London in this game. And so, 7 o'clock Eastern time, that's set to go
coming up on the 1st of June. So that is our scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club. All right, when we come back, we'll take a lap and ask us anything as well. So get your questions into Zuby, and we'll blast through the last segment of the podcast coming up. Stay with us here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
If you're considering a vinyl fence, don't be fooled by cheap marketplace imitations. Get top quality vinyl fence from a trusted company with 20 years in the industry. With locations in Calgary and Edmonton, check out dlrvinylproducts.ca. For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit belvederegcc.com today. All right, time now to take a couple laps, brought to you by Acon Canada. They want to hear from you, one of Canada's original industrial contractors building some of the biggest multi-year industrial projects in Western Canada. You can be part of it. If you got a resume, fire it at them. Email address is trades@acon.com. That is trades@acon.com. We'll get to a couple of other minor happenings around the National Hockey League in just a moment, but let's stick with the Oilers here for a couple of minutes. Zuby, do we have any more sound in the Weiss Johnson soundbox that we have not gotten to yet from tonight?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, what else do we have? We have Coach Knobloch on the forecheck, and we got Corey Perry both on Zach Hyman and also on Nuge.
Okay, let's hear from Corey Perry talking about Hyman and Nugent Hopkins. Just play them back to back, buddy.
Okay, here's Hyman first.
You got to be aware who's on the bench or who's up on the bench, and it's you kind of get into the game, and you're focused on your next shift, and you never know if you're going to be up with somebody else. But I thought we did a good job. Obviously it's a big hole to fill, but nobody's going to do that overnight. It takes a team effort, and I thought we did a good job of that.
What does he mean to this for Zach?
Well, yeah, he means everything. He's a workhorse. He's a dog in the bone on the puck, and he's when he's forechecking and hitting and finishing like he did last game. That's Zach Hyman.
All right, and here's the worm on Nuge.
He's done everything that you can ask. He's put in the work, and he's getting rewarded, and everything he's touching is making good plays, and he plays on both sides of the puck. He works as hard as anybody on the ice, and what he's doing out there, it just helps us out a lot.
All right, Corey Perry on a couple of key contributors. Help me out with translating this. Somebody named PC Service iMac says Ryan looks goofed on skunk. I don't know what that means, Zuby. Goofed on skunk. Is that a slang?
I would imagine it's. It sounds like he's saying you maybe have ingested something that's altered your state. That would be my guess.
Okay.
From
skunk,
context,
right? The smell. Got it. Got it. David Rollins says, Ryan, since you are critiquing your speech, the only negative we hear is you tend to almost always say, I mean, before most answers you give. The ums are okay, but the I mean has no place. All right. I'm writing that down. I'm writing that on my list. I mean. Zuby, in the meantime, play that last clip from Chris Knobloch. I think it's talking about a specific part of their game.
Yes, it is. Let's do it. Let's hear it from him.
once we found our legs, I thought in the first period we were slow and they were winning the puck battles and they were winning the races, and it just seemed like we were always a step behind. And as we hit the second period, especially, I don't know, a big turning point for me, I thought we really elevated our game was after the second power play goal. That's when I really thought we felt comfortable with the lead. But yeah, we got to continue playing like that. And that's when we're playing our best, is when we've got all four lines skating like that, and not just relying on a couple guys to make some big plays.
Yeah, Struds, those, the kills, the power plays were big, but the kill came through pretty clutch as well. And the combination of the special team swing in the Oilers' direction, and Knobloch was talking about, that was a bit of a springboard for them.
It is, and especially when you're looking at Brown not being there. So McDavid was in there, and it always makes me nervous when I see those top players out there. I want my forwards blocking shots, but I don't want him blocking shots. And it might not ever happen, but if it does, ooh, mama, makes you really nervous. So it's a tough, there's a double standard there. But with Brown out, it looked to me like he was getting a little more ice time tonight in the PK.
McDavid got quite a bit of penalty killing time as well. I believe he was on for the power play goal against, but he got a fair amount, didn't he?
Yes. What did I say, McDavid, or did I say Nuge? I meant to say McDavid.
You said
having McDavid.
Okay, sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah,
yes,
sorry, I meant to say McDavid's out. I don't need like Nuge. You have to block him, but McDavid, I just, man, it makes me so nervous seeing those top guys. I don't want to block in shots.
Yeah. A couple quick laps that we want to take around the league, Struds. Some personnel stuff you can rip through her quick here, buddy.
Yeah, the nothing too. Teams are still trying to get their business done. Mike Pekka, former Edmonton Oilers, is now an assistant coach with the Hawks. Blashill said he'll be there. Anders Sorensen, who took over, will also be there. I like that. I know him. I think he's a really good coach. I like that he's going to stay. And then the Devils brought on Brad Shaw as assistant coach. He had taken over from Tortorella in Philly, so he's staying in that division underneath Sheldon Keefe. So teams are rounding out their staffs, getting ready for the new business year coming up pretty quick here at the end of the month, end of June.
All right. And we'll be keeping an eye on coaching vacancies and coaching candidates, and that'll be part of the topics that we're discussing as the pod continues through the month of June. That was Taking a Lap, brought to you by our good friends over at Acon. Zuby, hop on in here, buddy. Let's wrap up the DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. I liked your poll tonight, bud. I thought it was a good one. Where did it land?
Thank you. Well, it's funny. I almost lost it because the chat's moving so quickly. Usually when I end it, I copy and paste it into another document so I can refer to it. I was just having a little moment of panic here that I couldn't find the poll results, but I did find it. So this was the poll tonight. Has your opinion on Stu Skinner changed in the past 2 weeks? 48% saying yes, he has earned the net. 29% saying no, he was always my guy. So a huge number, in support here. Nearly 80% in support, full support of Stu Skinner. 20% saying yes, but they're relieved that Pickard is back in the backup role. And only 1% of our nearly 1,000 votes saying no, I'm still a full-on Pickardite.
Andy. Chief Andy chiming in with the 1%.
Maybe Ace. Oh, Ace. Yeah, Ace is in the 1%. And there was somebody else said it right before. Well, that would have to be on 1,000. It would have to be 10 votes, right? So, because almost 1,000 votes here on the poll tonight. So,
all right, that's the DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. You always come up with great stuff too. Be great job on that.
Thanks.
Let's get to Ask Us Anything. Brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies, founded in 1976. They are a full-line distributor providing quality wholesale electrical products for use in industrial, commercial, and in residential settings. Proudly owned and operated in Edmonton. Visit bjelectric.ca. We are quite a bit over here, Zuby, but we want to give this some time. So let's blast through some. And if you want, Struds can handle the bulk of them. But if you got anything specific for me, then let me know. But otherwise, let's put Struddy center stage here.
Sure. Where did I want to go first? EMG says, what do you think Dallas's game plan is going to be on Thursday? What do they have to focus on, Struddy?
I do think that to get to Skinner, I think the life is quite comfortable for Stu Skinner right now and around his net. They tried, I thought, a little bit more in the first period. And then I wonder if they don't switch up that top line, try to find a different combination there of a little bit more speed. I love the way Brownie brought that in as, something go and get pucks to make plays for Rantanen instead of Mikko doing it for everybody else.
Canadian pointing out, he said, I thought Arvidsson had some jump and brought some speed tonight. What did you think of his injection back in the lineup? I liked his game as well.
Yeah, he had that one chance where he's cutting to the middle and falls. I'm like, oh man, like that's it's and maybe he was just excited or whatever. But yeah, I think the thing with Arvidsson, I find at times he cheats on the wrong side of the puck. I'd like to see him be more above the puck more often, especially along the walls. We talked about the D-man pinching down. When they pinch down, get above them. Don't cheat. But I understand he's cheating for offense, or as Brownie would call it, anticipating.
That's funny. Okay, Jack McKenna pointing out, he says, Hyman going down sucks for sure, but overall the Oilers are a lot less banged up as a team than last year. And just in a continuation on that thought, Obelisk 21 saying, how important is it for the Oilers to get this done in 5 now that they do seem like they're getting a little banged up, Brown and obviously Zach Hyman now, Struds?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the humongous, and you want to get it done as quick as they can, just to rest and hope that Florida extends that one or Carolina extends it. But I mean, Zach Hyman will be if he's out for any length of time, that'll be a big problem. He's a important voice, I think, in that room. The way he brings it every night, he's predictable. The way he plays, consistent. Although most of the players have been pretty consistent, but someone else is going to get quite a few minutes and a sweet spot beside one of those two big guys. If he's out, that's even one game.
Kritzer said that third period makes you believe that winning this thing without Zach Hyman is possible. I have to say, I was really impressed with the way they came out in the third, because what you were expecting was the continued push from Dallas, and the Oilers just completely flipped the script, I thought, right at the beginning of the third period. Does that give you some hope if it looks like Zach's out for an extended period of time, Struds?
Well, they've done it 2 periods in a row. But, I can't, this will be an issue for Hyman not being there, because he can chip in. The other night he had 2 goals and do more than chip in. The guy scored 70 goals last year. So this, you never want to lose someone like that. I know that Florida's got Reinhart right now. But I hope it's something minor that he can figure out and still shoot. But we'll get the update, I guess, tomorrow on some level from Schauger and Knobloch tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Feeling a little randy, Greg says, hey, just thought to mention I was listening to some Dallas podcast, and they were pointing out that Ottinger, talking about Ottinger, and that when he gets to 70 games, his play drops. Skinner is obviously fresh, and then we talked about Quaddy adding in. Is Dallas just getting worn down? They've played 17 games. Most hit team pushing for leads and fading late. Do you think this is to the advantage of Edmonton? Is Dallas getting tired, Struds?
They had 2 really tough first series, Colorado and Winnipeg. Those are 2 emotional, hard-fought battles. And I think we can look at last year's Oilers. The guys talked about, if they had finished something off earlier, where they would have had more in the tank going into that final. So I haven't thought it too much from the Dallas side, but I do agree with that. And I do think with Ottinger, I think goalies need to be, I think their ice time needs to be managed. I truly do. Whether it's mental or physical, they need some breaks. And I'm sure Skinner would have liked to play more than he did this year, but he does look fresh to me this year compared to even a couple of years ago when they played him quite a bit down the stretch.
This is a great one. I don't know if you guys talked about this last night or if this just came up today, but Neil Garrity pointing out Stetcher's comments about potentially coming out for Ekholm were fantastic. He gets it. What did you think of Stetcher basically saying he's better than me? If he's ready, he should go in. It'll help the team win.
Yeah, it was Mark Spector's article, and it was great. I did read it, and I can sympathize. I was that guy. I was the 7D man, and when people get healthy, you get kicked in the nuts and you're out. And that's just the job. It's not good. And he said, he goes, I am better. Sorry, he's better than me, and I want to win, Shaggy.
Yeah. I wasn't flagging it like talk to me. I was flagging it like 2 more.
Oh, you want to do 2 more? Oh, I missed your actual gesture there.
Oh, sorry, I did that.
No
Roughly 2, unless you got more.
No
but-
problem. I think I got one more kind of good question here, and then we'll get to a couple of fun comments from all the fun we've had on the chat here. Joe Dokes, he wants to talk about his cats, his kitties. He says, my cats have been shut out 2 of their last 3 home games. Anomaly or indicative of some underlying issues?
Well, no Reinhardt doesn't help. I mean, he's a pretty good player. So I think you start there and everyone else has to move up a little bit. So, I mean, I think that Florida's going to get this done. But just like the Oilers, they don't want this extended out. I think both teams will look to close out Wednesday, Thursday as quick as possible.
Okay, here's a couple of other interesting little tidbits. Corey Perry, the Worm himself, said, Stu, I haven't verified this, but Stu started the night at plus 6,600 for Conn Smythe, plus 6,000 mid-game, plus 2,200 post-game. What a run for Stu Skinner tonight. Pretty incredible. Our friend Kayla Weethorn, we got to go back to her. I don't know what she was referring to when she said this, but she said, y'all are seriously the cutest, lordy. And then she had a good comment, a funny comment when we were talking about Corey Perry as well. She says, Corey Perry licks the frosting from the Oreo and throws away the cookie. And I'm not sure the context of that either, but that made me chuckle. Let's bring it back to, Mr. Jones and Content says, loving this in New Zealand. That's the country just below Australia. Struds, do you have a New Zealand?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't. I can't do everything, right? I'm mostly just London and Australia. Those are the 2 I stick to. And a little bit of sometimes I get a French accent if I have enough maple syrup.
Yeah, it's offensive. Don't do the Australian thing.
2 more quick comments. David Rollins said he was the guy who pointed out something about your vocab there, Shogger. He says, on the positive side, Ryan, we live on the side of a mountain in the interior of Guerrero, Mexico, and my wife and I watch every pod. Love it. So that's pretty
David
cool.
Rollins. Amazing. Thank you, David and Mrs. Rollins. Thank you. That's awesome.
And here's the last one. Our friend Ro Nelson, I think she had a good comment here to remind, even though the chat was largely getting along tonight, and again, we just welcome opposing opinions. We're not all exactly the same. Ro Nelson said, we all have personnel we advocate for as fans and things we want to see because sport is entertainment and hockey is a game, but no matter what, we all want Edmonton to win the cup. We have that in common, referring to the chat, of course. Yes. And that was I thought that was a nice thought to bring everybody here together.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric. I just want to put into perspective for people, Zuby, what you and Steve have to do during this show is a massive lift. So you are in charge of everything technically that people are seeing on their screen, in charge of gathering all the sound, in charge of cutting from shot to shot to shot. And while they are doing that during the show, Struddy, they also have to monitor the stream for the best comments, gather them in an organized fashion, and pick the best ones. Honestly, Zuby, I'm not even making a joke here. It's phenomenal what you guys do. So and good. That little Ask Us Anything there, Struddy, that was organized, well executed from a multitasking maniac. Wonderful stuff, Zuby.
Oh, he's in the zone. He's always in the zone every day.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And I'll tell you, my biggest struggle here sometimes is the listening too. And then I get a question. I'm like, oh, I hope they haven't talked about this already because I haven't listened to everything that was said.
Yeah, you and Steve, you blow my mind because when we first started in the early days of the pod, I was opping. I was doing some of that for some of the pods myself. And now that we've grown and it's bigger, longer, there's lots more going on, but fantastic job. You and Steve always do such a great job. Let's wrap up the show. Our play of the day.
Here's my mom on the chat, by the way, accepting your
Ginny Sabunia. That is your boy, Ginny. We got nothing but love for your boy here on Got Your Back. Play of the day brought to you by Gallery Dental, offering a full range of services designed to keep your smile healthy. Their experienced team providing personalized care with the latest technology, making sure you get the best treatment possible. Contact Gallery Dental, YEG.com. What do you have in mind for this, Jason?
I've got Adam Henrique's airmail all the way up to Kapanen to put this one on ice. I thought that was a great play, and he was very confident when he threw that bad boy up there, boys.
Yep, very good play. Very, very strong play. And a solid play of the day. It sealed things. I thought it was a bit of an early pull. Did you think it was an early pull, Struddy? I felt like it was an early pull.
I think they had the rest, the offensive zone face-off. What was it, 2.5 minutes?
It was like, no, because they did it the shift before. They pulled them before the commercial break.
Okay. Yeah, I was all for it. I think you got to go for it. The series on the line, I think, in that moment. Put them out there early.
All right. Good stuff. Great show. Wonderful audience. What an amazing night. This was awesome. New faces, old faces. Great debate. Brownie was bang on. Zuby was a star. We're just humming right now. The team is operating at 100%. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Struddy, Zuby will be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock Mountain Time for Struddy's World. It's live on YouTube. It's live on X. Rob Brown will be joining them as well as Darren Dreger. Going to be a great show. Have a great one tomorrow, guys.
Looking forward to it. Talk to everybody then.
We will, yeah. Join us.
All right.
Everybody come back.
Yes, everybody come back. All 1,169. They're here right now. Put it in your calendar. 12 o'clock Mountain Time tomorrow, right here. Got your back. Struddy's World. We'll talk again soon, everybody. Have a great night.